Chris's life was beautiful and powerful, inspiring. Everybody involved in this movie went above and beyond what they had to do, and it's very fitting for a man who always gave more than he had to.
Tara Kyle, the widow of Navy SEAL Chris Kyle, discussing the making of the motion picture American Sniper. Welcome back to Newsmax Prime. I'm J.D. Hayworth. Of course, that film was a huge success, grossing nearly $350 million, more than any other movie released last year. You'll recall the motion picture focuses on the life of Chris Kyle in the military and highlights his struggles dealing with those who in turn were dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder. Joining us now, the co-author of the book American Sniper, Scott McEwen. As a recovering attorney, he's Skyping in from San Diego. We should note that Scott is also the author of a new novel entitled The Sniper and the Wolf. Scott McEwen, welcome to Newsmax Prime.
Thanks for having me on. It's great to be back.
And Scott, as you reflect on American Sniper, the book, and the film, did you expect to see the level of success with both those projects?
No one could have expected that. That was the overwhelming support that we found from the people in the heartland of this country was amazing. And it was coast to coast and really worldwide. I think people kind of resonated to the message of God, family, and country, and it kind of showed Hollywood as well that that message is worth telling, and real movies about real heroes are worth telling. And for that reason, I'm very proud of the project.
Scott, you joked with me off air about being a recovering lawyer, and I shared with you, well, I'm a recovering member of Congress, so we deal with our previous occupations. But what I'm curious about is this. There is always, it seems more often than not, that people who write books that become movies have a little bit of angst about seeing their literary work transferred over to the big screen. In the final analysis, how true to the book was the screenplay and the way the final production of American Sniper came out on the big motion picture screen?
Well, as we both know, JD, it's very difficult to take 400 pages of material and put it into 120 minutes of movie. So it's a monumental task to start with, and you have to choose and pick from the material and choose the highlights and the most telling pieces. And I think that Jason Hall and Clint Eastwood did a great job of choosing the best of the best in the book and taking it to the film. And so there was variations, there was some differences in certain parts, but by and large, the message came resounding clear. And I believe that the message of support and of family really came through very, very clearly in Clint's work. And the guy's a masterpiece. And I have no higher praise that I can give than I give to Clint Eastwood as a filmmaker and as a patriot of this country.
One last question about American Sniper. There you are, down the 5, just a couple hours from Hollywood. You talked about the heartland receiving the film, taking it to its heart and showing up at the box office. It seemed to be less that situation in Hollywood. Your reaction to the reaction of the Hollywood left about the film?
You got to expect that. And really there was some reservation, I think, even amongst those that backed the film originally as to whether it would be commercially successful. But I think we've all proven that to be an unfounded, if you will, question mark in their minds. And now we know that it can work. And then the second thing is, look, anytime you tell a real story that highlights this country and that is positive towards this country, there are going to be those that want to run this country down. And the message of Chris Kyle was one of support for the troops and support for this country. And it was unending and unwilling to compromise. And I think that Clint doing the movie the same way was a very good message to the left that, you know what, the reason this country is great is because of people like Chris Kyle.
Well, let's talk about your new book, The Sniper and the Wolf, a fictionalization also about a Navy SEAL. Why did you decide to return to the SEALs, as it were, with this piece of fiction?
Well, this will be the third book in the series, in the Sniper Elite series, and there's so many great stories that I hear, JD, that cannot make it into a fact-based book for one reason or another. Either the DoD would never want them talked about or whatever. So I fictionalize those stories and try to place them with the character Gil Shannon, the SEAL Team 6 sniper that I have, and take all the skill set, all the love of this country, all the fighting ability, all the things that the SEALs are, and amalgamate them in one, if you will, super SEAL that we see in Gil Shannon. and tell stories about SEAL stories that I've heard and change the names and dates and places. And it's a very fun series that I've done there. And I'm very happy to say that Sony Pictures has picked up the first 2 books to be made into a movie.
Wow. So again, you'll see your literary work go into a screenplay, and we'll see based on some true stories, although it's a piece of fiction. Again, the name of the new book is The Sniper and the Wolf. Author Scott McEwen, we thank you very much for your time, sir.
Thank you, and keep supporting the troops. I really appreciate it.
Amen. And in that vein, another reminder for you, you can read Scott's book, American Sniper, the complete story of Chris Kyle, with whom he co-authored that book. And you can get that book by going to newsmax.com/sniper. We'll be right back.